how many cups is in 9 ounces of flour. So this is 1 level cup, and the scale is to 0, and that 1 cup is 4.7 ounces. So if 1 cup is 4.7 ounces, 2 cups will be over 9 ounces. So you see why when it comes to baking a really good cake, you need to buy a scale so it'll be more exact. So let's see, 9 ounces. So that's 9 ounces. So we have a little bit left over. See? This is, I would say, about a tablespoon and a half. So we'll take this one. I want to see how many ounces we have left over. So put that to 0. And how many ounces? So it's 0.4 ounce left over. 0.4, so not even half an ounce. So 2 cups. We don't want to fold 2 cups of cake flour. It's all depending on how you scoop it. So there is science definitely behind baking. The scale to 0. Now 9 ounces of sugar. 9 ounces. So far in here we have 9 ounces of flour, 9 ounces of sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And you want to whisk it up so be all mixed up. You're going to set this aside, and we're going to make our wet ingredient. 3 eggs, and we have our vanilla, we have our 2 ounces of oil, and we have our buttermilk, 8 ounces of buttermilk. So this is recipe number 2 of the vanilla cake. The only thing we switch is from milk to buttermilk. So we took out the milk and add the buttermilk. See how tender, or can you tell a difference? So you want to beat up really well, and then we're going to set this aside. We're going to start the reverse method by adding the butter and the flour in, 1 tablespoon at a time, and we're going to put it at number 2. Once you see the butter dissipate, then you add in another chunk. Now, we started at 11:10, now it's 11:12. It doesn't take that long. We already put in 1 full stick of butter already. Now we just have another half a stick to go. 11:13. So that's only 3 minutes, and that was the last pad of butter to put in there. Now make sure that we scrape the side. Make sure there's no butter in there that's left. Okay, scrape from the bottom. And you know, when you are done, it's when it comes to that scale like cornmeal. So that was the last pad that went in there. Alright, now we can add our liquid. And it's 11:14. And I'm starting to add the liquid in. You don't want to put it all in, just enough so it will make like a thick batter. And then we'll put the balance of it in later. Now we can move it up, number 2. Okay, we can add a little bit more in. So you can see like a thick pancake batter. Yep, so now we can go up to number 4. We're going to let it beat. So it's been a minute, it's been beating. So we're going to beat it for a good 2 minutes. To our 2nd minute. So 2 minute total, 1 minute at number 4, and then 1 minute number 6. So nice and fluffy. Okay, a minute is up. I'm gonna scrape the sides now, so that way I want to make sure there's nothing underneath there. Make sure everything is fluffed up, and you can see, test the batter. Batter looks good. So you want to get this batter just because, remember we sub out the milk to be a buttermilk, so buttermilk is much thicker than the milk, so we would need to beat it an extra minute, I think. Either a minute or 2 minutes, we'll see. It needs to be a little fluffier. Okay, a minute has passed already. It is fluffing up nicely. Alright, I think we can start drizzling the balance of the wet mixture here. Because this is pretty thick, so I don't have to put it in the drizzle at a time. You put it all in. Put the rest of the mixture in already. And now I'm going to scrape the side. See? The batter is a little bit thicker with the buttermilk, but it looks pretty good. Okay, let's beat it. Number 4. We're going to beat it number 4 for another minute. Didn't take that long. The reverse method, just the way how you cream your sugar. But this is I can see it's the better way. Nice and fluffy. Try it, and you'll see. Alright, I'm ready to scoop it out. The batter out. I already spray. And now I'm going to put a little waxing, so wax sheet of paper. You don't have to be round, perfect. You're only doing it for yourself. You're not on any TV show yet. But here. So that way you can flip the cake out easier. And you can scoop it out yourself. Scoop it out, measure it out, or eyeball it. I'm pretty good at eyeballing the cake. Since this is our second recipe, I want to make this one a little bit thicker. Let's see, less. Preheated oven. So the cakes and the cupcake have gone to a preheated oven, 340 minutes. Let's check the cupcakes here. Cupcakes are the one that are the, oh yeah, definitely. You see the bounce test? It bounced back at you. The key here is not to overcook, overbake. Alright, let's see how this one needs a few more minutes. Minutes for the cakes. And you can see it's much browner. So, you know, every oven is different. You see here, this one is way in the back and it's more yellow. And this one's way in the front and it's lighter. See? Darker and lighter. So you gotta know your oven, where your oven hot spot is. Alright, so now the big one's ready to come out as well. You can always take the temperature as well. And here's the big one. See? Big one. Let's take the temperature. Right on the money. 202, 203. So it's perfect. Cake recipe number 2. In this one, I use the same method as number 1. Same recipe. The only difference is I use buttermilk instead of milk. And let's see how it tastes. Open this up. It's nice and fluffy. This is also cool overnight, because any cake coming out the oven will taste delicious, but how does it taste the next day? So let's cut it in half. Oh, I can feel that when I'm cutting it, this is definitely a smoother, you see it? Smoother and also more tender. So it depends how much the texture itself. See how tender you want this cake to be. So let's taste this. Actually, it's a very tender cake, so it's not good for structure like wedding cake. So buttermilk would definitely make it more tender. Tastes good. I actually like the buttermilk texture better, but it's probably not a good cake to do a wedding cake in, because it's so tender. It melts in your mouth. Bon appetit. I have to eat the rest of this. It's so good.